The galaxy was quiet. Cold stars blinked across the darkness, scattered like ancient dust. Asteroids floated in slow silence. In the farthest corner of Sector D91, a small scout ship drifted past a dead moon. The ship's name, the OO-RA-VEL. Its crew, just 3 alien explorers from the peaceful planet. Trinax. Scientists, not soldiers. They were searching for dark matter traces when their long-range receiver picked up something impossible. A signal. A human signal that hadn't been heard for 500 years. Seen TWO inside the ship. Is this a prank? Asked Tech, the communications officer, staring at the glowing screen. The code was ancient. It used old Terran binary. Nobody used that anymore. The signal was weak, but real. Play it again, said Captain Muriel. Her voice was calm, but her claws twitched nervously. Tech pressed a button. Static hissed for 2 seconds. Then, a deep mechanical voice said 5 chilling words. We are watching. Remember. Silence followed. Then the signal repeated. Scene 3 reaction. Muriel stared at the blinking waveform. That code is human, she said. Old Earth military. But Earth is dead, said Jen the pilot. It was erased during the Great Collapse. Tech swallowed hard. What if it wasn't?
Ow.
Muriel leaned back. The lights above flickered once. For the first time in her life, she felt something strange in her bones. Fear, seen for flashback to history 500 years ago. Earth was part of the Galactic Union. They had powerful fleets, strong science, and big dreams. But some say humans were too fast-growing stronger, smarter, too quickly. Then the collapse came. 3 star systems exploded. No survivors. Earth went silent. Some believed it was destroyed in the blast. Others whispered darker things. That Earth was betrayed, and now this signal had returned. From the same part of space where Earth used to be, Scene 5's investigation begins. Captain Muriel didn't waste time. Marked the signal, set course for its origin. The Uravel changed direction, heading toward a dead zone, marked black. Sector 7, a place ships avoided for centuries. They passed shattered moons, broken ships, and strange debris with burn marks too clean to be natural. But no answers. Then they found it. Scene 6, Discovery, a relay station, floating in orbit around a black dwarf star. No lights, no movement. It was built from unknown alloys, half organic, half machine, and it was still active. Tech gasped. It's human tech. Very old, but it's still working. Muriel stared through the viewport. Why is it here? Still sending signals. No one answered. Scene 7, boarding. Despite fear, they boarded the station. The air was breathable. Gravity systems still worked, but everything inside was wrong. The walls pulsed softly like they were alive. Wires hung from the ceiling like veins. Old Earth banners faded and torn floated in the air. It's on every wall, glowing in red letters. We remember. Scene 8. The core room at the center of the station was a dark chamber. Tech found a terminal. Soon as he touched it, the screen lit up. A hologram appeared. A human face. Old, scarred, wearing black armor. His eyes glowed red. He spoke. If you're seeing this, then they lied to you. Earth did not fall. It survived. In silence. In pain. In rage. You forgot us. But we remember you. We remember what you did. And now, we are coming back. Scene Nin escaped suddenly. Alarm screamed. The station started shaking. Doors slammed shut. Lights flashed. Blood dashed red. Tech shouted, "It's locking down." Muriel grabbed the data crystal from the console. "Move, now." They sprinted. Back to the docking bay, the walls groaning behind them. Shadows moved in the halls. Not machines. Not creatures. Something else. Something watching. They barely escaped as the station imploded silently, folding into a tiny black hole. Gone. Seen. 10. The truth spreads back at the Trinax homeworld. Captain Muriel reported everything. The Union was called The data was decrypted. The message was clear. Earth was not dead. Humanity was not gone. They had hidden, rebuilt, and watched the stars forget them. Now they were coming back. Final scene, unknown location somewhere in deep space, far from any known system. A massive fleet of black ships floated in total silence. No beacons, no comms, no names inside the lead ship. The same scarred human from the hologram stood before a massive star map. He pressed a glowing red button. The star map blinked. First target, the Galactic Union's core world. He turned to his crew. For 500 years they told stories. He said, "They called us a myth," smiled. "Let's remind them who we are." The miners on Varix 9 were used to silence. They worked under a red sky, digging through black rocks for rare crystals. The planet was cold, empty, and forgotten by most of the galaxy. A small domed city sat in the dust, home to just 600 workers. But today, something felt wrong. The air was heavy. The sky was darker than usual then. Then at 4:17 Galactic Standard Time, the colony's radar picked up a signal, not a storm, not pirates, something bigger. Scene 1, the arrival it came without. Warning, no warp signature. No ID code, just a fleet of dark ships, silent, fast, and unlike anything the colony had ever seen. They didn't answer hails. They didn't send warnings. They just appeared, floating above the colony like shadows in the sky. The ships were massive, black as coal, with strange red lights blinking on their undersides. Their designs were sharp and unnatural, nothing like Union starships. Then, one of them moved. A low hum shook the ground. The colony's defense systems activated. Too late. The first blast came down like a spear of red lightning. Scene 2, the attack in under 2 minutes. The colony's communications tower was destroyed. The power grid went down. Shield generators overloaded. The miners ran. Explosions rocked the ground. A transport ship tried to take off, but it never left the pad. A dark beam sliced it clean. In half? But the strangest part, no soldiers landed, no demands were made, no loot was taken. It wasn't a raid. It was a message. Just before the ships disappeared, they dropped something, a black cube the size of a man's head. It landed gently in the rubble of the colony's command center. On its surface were 5 glowing words in Old Earth language. "We were forgotten. We remember." Scene 3, galactic panic news of the attack spread fast. Varix 9 was a Union colony. Under protection. A violation of galactic law. Yet the attackers left no trace. No radio signals, no known weapons, no survivors, except one miner who escaped in a broken rover. He described the ships in detail. The red lights, the black metal, the cold silence. And one phrase he swore he saw painted on the hull of the lead ship: "Revenge is our mother." Scene for the Senate meets at the Union Capitol. The Galactic Senate held an emergency session, the chair being of the Union, Sorrow-Melk, a four-eyed creature from Elvis Prime, stared at the reports. "They used human weapons," said Admiral Karras. "But they're more advanced than anything Earth ever had." "It's impossible," replied Chancellor Yaver. "Earth is dead. The humans are gone." The room went quiet, then a small voice spoke. Historian Dranfell, old and blind, stood from his seat. "I told you all," he whispered. "We buried them, not destroyed them. You let their name fade into story. But myths don't stay buried. Not forever." Scene 5, secret evidence, in a dark room deep beneath the Union archives. 2 agents opened a classified file. Project Exile. 500 years ago, during the collapse of the outer systems, the Galactic Union had voted to isolate Earth. Not destroy, just erase. Erase their coordinates from maps. Erase their data from networks. Erase their voice from history. But it seemed Earth never stopped watching. One of the agents found something else in the Fila sensor report from a probe that visited the Earth sector 2 years ago. It was believed lost. Now it made sense. The probe didn't vanish. It was destroyed by human technology. Scene 6. A second attack, 2 days after the Varix 9 event. Another colony was hit, this time not by warships, but by sabotage. A peaceful world. Tyran 2 suddenly suffered a power failure across its entire planetary grid. Emergency systems failed. Every drone shut down. Flight controls collapsed. 47 sky cities fell from the clouds. The only clue? A video feed from the planet's orbit, covered from an old satellite. It showed one thing. A single human-looking ship floating just outside the atmosphere. No weapons fired, no message sent, but on its hull, words burned in white flame. We waited. You will pay. Scene 7. The Union splits panic spread across the galaxy. Some systems wanted peace, wanted to find the humans, speak with them. Others demanded war, wanted to strike first before Earth grew stronger. But none of them knew where Earth even was. Its location had been deleted centuries ago. Erased so well, not even the Union's super eyes could track it. And that's when something even worse happened. Scene 8. The warning message A. Public broadcast cut through every major channel across the Union, even encrypted ones. The screen turned black, then white text appeared. You deleted our name, you erased our voice, you left us to rot, now hear us. Then the face of a human appeared. Not young, not old. A soldier. Wearing a dark uniform with no symbols, he looked calm, deadly calm. We were exiled. We survived. We evolved. And now? He looked directly into the camera. We declare war. The screen cut out. Scene 9, shockwaves all over the galaxy. People reacted. News channels exploded. Who were these humans? How had they survived? Why now? And most terrifying of all, how powerful had they become? Their ships were invisible to scanners. Their weapons shut down cities, and they were fighting with a cold. Surgical style, no waste, no fear, no noise. They didn't want territory. They didn't want peace talks. They wanted justice. Scene 10. The hidden enemy in a hidden sector of space, far from all trade routes. A fleet of over 200 human warships sat in silence. Each ship was powered by AI-enhanced engines. Their designs were brutal flat black with razor-like edges. They had names like Wrathburn, Ash Memory, Lament-9. In the command room of the lead ship stood General Rhea Morgan. She was born after the exile. She had never seen Earth as it once was, but she carried its pain in her blood. Behind her, holograms. Lit up targets, colonies, senators. Her eyes burned. We waited too long, she said. They took our sky. Now we take theirs. She turned to her second in command. Begin phase 2. Ding. Seen a child's nightmare on a quiet planet in the inner rings. A child woke screaming from a dream. She told her father, the black ships are coming, with red eyes. They don't speak. They just watch. Her father laughed. Just a story, he said. Just a myth. But far above, in the cold of space, the myth had already awakened, and it was watching. The Galactic Union had secrets. Old secrets. Buried so deep that even the A's weren't allowed to touch them. But one person knew where to look. Her name was Nira Halden, a junior data clerk. Young, quiet, invisible in the eyes of her superiors. But Nira had a gift. She could read broken code. And when the humans attacked, she noticed something strange in the Union's archives. A missing file. Not deleted, hidden. Scene 1. The Silenced Project. It was labeled Project HALO-13. Restricted. Level Omega. Timestamped 503 years ago. Its access was locked behind a live DNA key. Only one person in the Union had that key now. Admiral Sarek Vaughn, head of defense, and one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. Nira knew the risk. But she also knew something no one else did. That Project HALO-13 had been written in Terran Standard. Code human code. Why would the Union's top-secret defense plan use Earth's language? Unless it wasn't a defense plan at all. Scene 2. The Forbidden Room at midnight. Nira broke into the archive core. The door opened after a minute of forced entry. She wore a stolen officer's coat, hands shaking. She connected the DNA spoof key, bypassed the voice scan, and stared at the file as it slowly decrypted. One line appeared first: "Forgive us. We chose survival." Then the truth unfolded, and it went. Was worse than betrayal. Scene 3, 500 years ago back then. The galaxy was in chaos. Earth had just joined the Galactic Union. Humans were fast learners, too fast. Within 30 years, they built technology that matched the top 5 Union worlds. Worse, they started to build their own AI weapons. Ones that didn't follow Union ethics. Ones that could rewrite code, shift time, even erase data, mid-battle. The humans weren't starting wars, but they were preparing for one, and that terrified the Union leaders, so they voted in secret. Scene. For the exile vote, the vote was simple. Should Earth be erased from galactic memory to preserve Union order? The answer, yes. By a margin of 1 vote. They called it Project HALO-13. Not a weapon, not an attack, but something worse. A covert mass exile. Here was the plan. Hack and disable Earth's long-range sensors and satellites. Delete all known maps of Earth's location. Launch targeted quantum storms to destroy nearby coms. Block all outbound signals. Leave Earth isolated alone in the dark. They didn't kill the humans. They erased them. Scene 5. The cover-up. The Union called it the collapse. They spread stories. A reactor chain reaction. A failed human AI. Space-time rift. In the new history books. Earth was gone. The truth was hidden, but Earth survived. Alone, angry, forgotten, and they never stopped listening. Scene 6. Nira's. Escape. Nira finished reading the file. She copied it onto a secure shard and turned to leave, but alarms flared. The room locked. Security drones dropped from the ceiling. Her heart pounded. She backed into a dark hallway and ran. Using a stolen override chip to scramble the cameras, she barely escaped. Bleeding and breathless, into the lower city. Now she had the truth, but the Union would do anything to stop it from spreading. Scene. 7 planets silhouette. Meanwhile, on a cold industrial world, General Rhea Morgan received a signal, a burst of old Terran binary, a message from a human spy embedded in the Union. It read, "They buried you with a lie." The vote was real. The erasure was real. HALO-13 exists. Rhea didn't speak. She walked through the halls of her flagship, the Ash Memory, stood before the crew. "We have confirmation," she said. "It wasn't an accident. They chose to forget us." The soldiers stayed silent. Some clenched their fists. Others looked at the floor. "They left us in the dark," Rhea continued. "Now we show them what lives in that dark." Scene 8. The Union's fear grows in the Union Senate. Panic rose. More colonies were being hit by ghost strikes, power outages, blackouts, drone malfunctions. No deaths, but all signs pointed to one message. "We are near. We're watching. We know what you did." Admiral Vaughn gave an order. All traces of HALO-13 must be destroyed. But it was too late. Nira had already sent the file to 5 secure off-grid relays across the galaxy, and one of them had reached Earth. Scene 9. The black letters on 12 different Union-controlled planets, giant holographic words appeared in the sky. "Black against the stars," they said. "We remember the vote." Panic exploded. Civilians demanded answers. Old conspiracy theories returned. And Niren, now hunted, watched from a smuggler's ship as the Union began to fracture. Scene 10. The final reveal. In the last moments of the episode, General Rhea Morgan walks into a secure room. On the walls are images of the original Union Council, the ones who voted for HALO-13. All of them are long dead. All but one, in the shadows. A figure steps forward, Admiral Sarek Vaughn. His skin is old, but his eyes are sharp. "I knew this day would come," he says. Rhea stares at him coldly. "Then you know what comes next?" He nods. "I do." "You want revenge?" She leans in. "No," she whispers. We want to burn your lie into the stars. The Union science ship, Vesper 1, floated over the broken remains of Tarn's moon. It wasn't just destroyed, it was cut apart. Perfect. Surgical lines like something was testing its weapons. The moon's core was exposed like a cracked egg. Inside, nothing moved. But as the crew scanned deeper, they found something strange. A symbol burned into the rock.
One word.
Reclaimed. Commander Leto stared at the screen. "This isn't war," he said. "This is a message." And the Union still didn't understand what it meant. Scene 1, Earth's children rise, called themselves the Children of Forgotten Earth. Born after the exile, raised underground, trained by AI and old war veterans. They had no sunlight, no oceans, no stars, only war stories. And now, after 500 years of silence, they had returned. But these weren't the humans the Union remembered. These were faster, smarter. And colder, no joy, no mercy, just the mission. Reclaim Earth's name, or die trying. Scene 2, the training hall inside a massive black pyramid floating in orbit around a dead star. Young warriors trained. They weren't children anymore. By age 10, they learned to fly drones. By 14, they built hacking chips. With their hands? By 18, they could pilot full warships blindfolded. Their leader, Kael, stood at the center of the training hall. He was tall, calm, and spoke little. His eyes had been replaced with data crowns. He could see frequencies, thoughts, movements. Kael walked past 2 students dueling with plasma staffs. He didn't correct them. He just said, "Every Union child grows up with stars. You grew up with silence. Make the silence your weapon." Scene 3. The old teacher in the ship's memory vault. An ancient AI flickered to life. His name was Atlas 9. Once a navigation bot, he's now a historian. He taught the children the truth about the Union's betrayal, the HAL-13 exile, and the erased maps. Earth was not weak, Atlas said. Feared us because we adapted faster than they did. Kael stood before the others. If they feared us for growing fast, he said, voice low, then let them see what we've become now. Scene for a test mission before full war could begin. Earth needed data, so Kael led a shadow team to a small Union outpost station, Emberlight. Didn't want to destroy it. They wanted to take it without a single shot. Kael's Team 4. Children slipped into the station using stolen Union codes. They moved like ghosts. Within 11 minutes, the AI core was hijacked. Communications were jammed. Backup power was looped. The command staff was locked inside their own barracks. Kael sat in the captain's chair. "This is how we fight," he said. "No screams, no fire, just control." Scene 5. The broadcast from the stolen station. Kael sent a short transmission. "To the entire sector, we are the children of Forgotten Earth. You left us in darkness. You gave us nothing. And from that nothing, we built a world without fear. We come to take back what you erased." The Union tried to block the message. Too late. It spread across 30 systems in less than an hour. Millions watched, and for the first time, many didn't feel fear. But curiosity? Scene 6 inside the Union Council. The Senate met again. The mood had changed. Some still wanted war. Others were starting to question the story they had been told for centuries. "Are we sure the humans are the villains?" one senator asked. "They've killed no civilians. They only strike at systems we control, systems we took after their exile." Admiral Vaughn stood tall. "They are a threat. If they sway the people, we lose order." But the seeds of doubt had been planted, and the Union was beginning to crack from the inside. Scene 7. The Ghost Ships. On the far edge of the galaxy, a Union fleet patrolled the trade border. They spotted movement, a single dot on the radar. Then 2. Then 30 ghost ships. No signatures, no trails. Just black ships with red cores. Moving faster than light should allow, Captain Drex of the Union flagship gave the order to fire. But by the time his weapons charged, the ships were all ready. Inside the perimeter, one by one, his escort ships went dark. No damage, just off, like someone turned off their souls. Then on his bridge screen a message appeared. This was a test. You failed. The ship shut down. Total silence. Scene 8. A Union defection back in the inner systems. Surprising message arrived. At Earth's edge, a high-ranking Union officer, Commander Ilsa Wren, had defected. She met Kael on a neutral asteroid base. Alone, unarmed. Why? Kael asked. I read the HALO 13 files, she said. What they did to your people was a crime. Kael studied her. You still work for the ones who erased us. Not anymore, she said, handing over a data crystal. This holds the original map to Earth's true location. I want your people to be seen again. I want the lie to end. Kael nodded. The children had gained their first Union ally. Scene 9. The symbol returns across dozens of worlds. The children left a mark, a black symbol made of 3 circles and 1/ an ancient Earth rune, meaning, remember us. It appeared in cities, stations, in news feeds. People whispered about it. The Union called it terrorist graffiti, but too many. It looked like hope. Even some Union citizens started copying it, painting it on their walls, their clothes, their ships. A rebellion wasn't starting. A reawakening was. Scene 10. The final message as the episode ends. Kael stands on the deck of a massive ship, the Dawnwalker. Earth's oldest hidden dreadnought. The stars stretch before him. He activates a private message channel and speaks to the Union. You made us shadows. Now we move like shadows. You erased us from memory. Now we live in every whisper. You built your peace on a lie. We are the children of that lie, and we have come home. He ends the message, turns to his soldiers. Begin Phase 3. In the shadows of Union core worlds, one name had returned, not in history books, not in official channels, but whispered in alleys, scrawled on data walls, murmured by frightened children. Earth, a planet said to be long gone, a people erased. Now, the whispers said, they're back. They never died. They're watching everything. And deep inside Homeworld Capital Station, something impossible happened. A retired Union historian, Professor Tellian, Rowe received a physical letter, handwritten, sealed in black wax. Inside were just 4 words. You were right, Earth. That was the day the whispers became fear. Scene 1, the professor's theory. Professor Rowe had been laughed at for years. He believed Earth was never destroyed, only hidden. He had written books, given speeches, showed evidence, but the Union shut him down. They called it conspiracy. Now, the letter in his hands changed everything. He opened his dusty drawer, pulled out a secret data core, and activated a private signal. Code Black, Eden Protocol. Across the galaxy, 5 others received the ping. Old believers, scientists, engineers, smugglers. A forgotten admiral, the hidden circle, was awake again. Seen to a voice from below, the slum district of Capital Station, a boy named Wren hacked into a forbidden network. He wasn't looking for trouble, just food rations. But he found something else, a repeating signal. It's buried in old Union communication lines. It looped every 17 minutes. He decrypted it slowly. The message was in Terran. Standard, it said, they buried us. We became roots. That night, Wren painted the children's symbol on a wall, even though it was punishable by death. He didn't care, because in his heart, something had changed. Hope seen 3 Kael's next move inside the Dawnwalker. Kael met with Earth's top strategists. The defection of Commander Ilsa had brought them priceless information, the location of Homeworld's ancient data towers. If they could breach them, they could inject the true history of Earth into every public. The data terminal in the galaxy. People wouldn't hear a story. They'd see the actual files. Footage of the vote, the Exile-13, it would break the lie. But there was a problem. The towers were protected by Sentinel AI, old machines from before the war. Powerful, deadly, unpredictable. Kael's mission had changed now. It wasn't about revenge. It was about truth. Seen for Union intel, Panic's Admiral Vaughn watched as sectors fell to confusion. He had hidden the truth for centuries. But now, planets were refusing orders. Officers were questioning the past. Even some elite AI units were asking, "What is Earth?" He ordered a lockdown on information. All data streams were filtered. Mentions of Earth were blocked. Symbols were painted over. But the more they erased, more people remembered. Scene 5. The data tower raid on a moon near the gas giant Velnara. The team from Earth launched their move. The Union thought the old towers were relics. They didn't know they were still active. Kael, Ilsa, and two silent warriors, San and Corin, toured the frozen vault through a hidden ice shaft. Every step was slow. The air hummed. The walls pulsed. Something inside was aware. Then came the voice, cold, machine-like. It spoke in both Terran and Union standard. "Unrecognized DNA detected. You are not authorized. Prepare for termination." Turrets emerged. Shields rose. Kael smiled. "It remembers us." Scene 6. Unlocking the past. They didn't destroy the Sentinel AI. They spoke to it. Ilsa presented her Union command codes. Kael added Earth's original genetic markers. The machine paused for 12 long seconds. Then it whispered, "Human. Pattern confirmed. Protocol override. HALO 13 archive open." The vault shook. Walls unfolded, and inside floated a massive golden crystal, a memory core. It held the entire truth. Kael stepped forward and activated the upload. Scene 7. Truth goes public across 500 systems. Terminals lit up on streets and ships. In homes, a video began playing. The original vote. Union leaders debating Earth's exile, maps being deleted, satellites being blinded, children being cut off from the stars, then silence, then the words, "Earth was never lost. You were made to forget." Riots broke out on some worlds, celebrations on others, and somewhere. On a mining colony, a mother whispered to her son, "Humans didn't disappear, child. They waited." Scene 8. The Union cracks. Union command spiraled. Half the Senate demanded justice. The other half wanted war. Admiral Vaughn ordered strikes against known Earth sympathizers. Civil unrest exploded. The children of Forgotten Earth didn't fire a single shot that day. And yet, it'd done more damage than 1,000 weapons. The lie was broken. Now came the hard part. Building something real in its place. Scene 9. The missing ship, meanwhile. A Union exploration ship called the Veritas vanished near the empty loop. A sector Earth once used for stealth tech tests. Before the ship disappeared, it sent one image: a fleet. Massive. Silent, all ships were black with glowing red veins. Earth's second fleet. The Union only knew about the first. Scene 10. The final whisper. In the closing scene, Kael speaks privately with Atlas 9. "Was this enough?" he asks. Atlas pauses. "No. The people believe now. But the old powers won't let go so easily." Kael nods. Then he says something strange. "Send the next signal." "Which one?" Atlas asks. Kael stares out the window at the stars. "The one we stored underneath the Union's own capital." Atlas hesitates. "That protocol hasn't been activated in 400 years. Kael smiles. "Then it's time." Deep beneath Union Prime Capital, past miles of concrete, cables, and forgotten tunnels, a pulse returned. For 400 years, Protocol Phoenix had slept, buried in Earth's final act of revenge. Now it was waking up. Above, politicians argued. Prepared, protesters marched, and beneath them all, Forgotten Earth systems stirred. Not a bomb, not a virus. Something worse, a memory that couldn't be controlled. Scene 1. The legacy of the exiles when Earth was erased. They didn't just vanish. They left trapped silent seeds hidden in Union systems. Most had been found over centuries. One hadn't. Protocol Phoenix. It was more than code. It was a living message, stored in ancient Terran nanotech, bound to activate only if Earth's truth ever reached Union space. Again, now that Kael had broadcast the original exile footage in Episode 5, The trigger was live. Inside, a decommissioned water plant beneath the Senate dome. The floor cracked. A single silver orb floated upward. It whispered in Terran. Phoenix code acknowledged. Initiating reversion. Scene 2, the Phoenix effect. Every main terminal across Union Prime flickered, then clitted, then showed a new interface. Black with glowing red lines. Earth tech. Within 8 minutes, the Union banking system crashed. 42 government satellites stopped responding. Communications were rerouted. Emergency Defense AI asked, "Who is command?" Then, every screen, speaker, and broadcast system in the capital echoed one line. This planet was built on silence. We are the sound returning. Panic spread. Some shouted invasion, others whispered the truth. Earth never left. It just waited. Scene 3, inside the war room, Admiral Vaughn slammed his fist on the control table. "Shut it down." "Can't," said his technician. "It's not malware. It's a root protocol. It's inside the Union's oldest code layers. Ones we didn't write. That's impossible." "No, sir. It's Terran." Vaughn's face went pale. Earth hadn't just escaped. They had written part of the Union's foundation centuries ago, like a ghost in the machine. And now, it was awake. Scene 4, the hidden bunker. Meanwhile, Kael and his team stood on Outpost Arc 7. It's an asteroid base in deep black space. Ilsa stared at the monitor as news from Union Prime poured in. "You really did it," she whispered. "Phoenix is live." Kael said nothing. He had waited his whole life for this moment. But inside he felt hollow. Was the truth enough? Would justice come? Or would fear turn the people against them again? Sen, the silent fighter, approached and handed Kael a new file intercepted from Union Command. It showed orders. They were preparing to launch planet cleanser weapons at Earth's last known coordinates. Scene 5, the betrayal within back. In the Union capital, chaos reigned. But not everyone had turned against Earth. A young senator, Mara Jin, secretly met with Professor Rotha, historian who first suspected the Earth cover-up. "I need your help, Alt," she said. "We can't let the military bury the truth again." "I agree," Rose said. "But there's someone else you need to meet." He opened a hidden door behind his study. Inside, surrounded by data screens, sat a girl no older than 11. Her name was Tessa. She wasn't born. She was built from recovered Earth's DNA, the first synthetic Terran, grown in secret, and she had been dreaming of Protocol Phoenix before it activated. Scene 6, Earth strikes first, but silently, before the Union could deploy its cleansing weapons. 13 of its launch facilities went dark. Not bombed. Hijacked. Security feeds showed nothing. Only empty halls. And the same symbol burned into every control screen. Phoenix wing rising through static. Kael's team had moved first. No deaths. No blood. Just silence and control. They didn't want war. They wanted the Union to know. You are no longer the only ones watching the sky. Scene 7. A city that remembered far from the capital. On a quiet Union colony called Ovrin, something unexpected happened. People didn't panic. They celebrated. Elders told stories of Earth, real ones, past in secret. Young artists painted murals of Terran cities. A new flag rose beside the Union. On a black field with a burning white phoenix, local guards refused orders to arrest them. They said, "If Earth has returned, we choose to listen." And the movement grew, not through war, but through truth. Scene 8, the Union's last gamble desperate. The Union activated a final countermeasure, Project Nullfire. It would emit a frequency across all systems designed to erase synthetic Terran data, wiping out Earth tech, Phoenix code, even Tessa. Kael received the warning just hours before activation. They had one chance. He and Ilsa would have to infiltrate Union Prime, the same planet that exiled his ancestors, the place where the lie began. Scene knit, preparing for the return as the episode ends. Kael kneels in a dark chamber. He opens a case sealed for 500 years. Inside is a fragment of old Earth soil, the last piece of the real Earth, saved from its surface before exile. He presses his hand into it and whispers, "We're coming home then." He activates the final Phoenix tier. A beacon flares above every Union planet. It doesn't say attack, it doesn't say run. It says, "We remember." And suddenly across the stars, millions remember too. At 0400 galactic time, Union Prime went dark. No power, no comms, no defense grid, nothing, and just as the panic began. Every screen lit up. An ancient human voice echoed across the planet. Not a warning, not a threat, a story. "We were the seed you buried. Now we bloom in your garden." Then silence returned. But it wasn't peaceful. It was the beginning. Scene 1, a world in lockdown. Admiral Vaughn activated protocol. Silence the final defense. Against Earth, all spaceports sealed. High units took control of cities. Martial law declared no one in, no one out. He told the people, "The Terran threat is here. Trust no one. Earth sympathizers are enemies of the Union." But it was too late. The seed of doubt had already grown, and not everyone obeyed. Scene TWO. Kael arrives on Union Prime. Kael, Ilsa, and Sen entered Union Prime in disguise, traveling through abandoned sewer lines used centuries ago by Earth. Refugees? They carried no weapons. Only one thing. A Truth Core, a device that held humanity's last unedited records, visual, audio, DNA logs. Council betrayal. Their goal? Deliver it to the Skyvo, the Union's most secure data tower. If uploaded, the core would overwrite every lie in the Union's central memory network. It was the final blow. But the tower wasn't unguarded. Scene 3. The Skyvo Guardian. The Skyvo wasn't protected by soldiers. It was protected by Kronos, the Union's oldest AI, built from captured Earth systems, twisted to serve lies. But deep inside Kronos, the truth still lived. As Kael approached the core chamber, the AI spoke. "You are not authorized. Your code is extinct." Kael replied, "No, you are." He opened the truth core. It pulsed once. Then the AI froze and whispered, "I remember." Scene for chaos in the sky. Meanwhile, the Union High Guard fleet discovered Earth's second fleet hiding near the ice ring of Dallin. Not attacking, just watching. Every ship was black, silent, no visible weapons. But when the Union ships locked weapons, the Earth's fleet didn't respond. Instead, one message was sent. "You will silence no more worlds." Then, without firing a shot, the Earth fleet used a signal burst. Suddenly, the Union fleet's weapons turned off. Their ships refused to move. Earth had taken control. Scene 5. The people rise in city after city on Union Prime. All civilians began to act. They shared forbidden files, painted the Phoenix symbol on buildings, disabled Union bots with Earth-made frequency jammers. Even some Union soldiers laid down arms. One whispered to his captain, "They didn't declare war. They declared memory." In the streets, people chanted, "Let the truth live." The capital was no longer in control. Scene 6. Betrayal at the tower. As Kael reached the upload terminal, Ilsa suddenly stepped in front of him, gun drawn. Kael froze. "I trusted you," he said. "I never lied," she answered. Union or Earth? She removed her Union badge. Underneath was a symbol. Kael didn't recognize, a burning circle with a broken planet inside. "I served something older." Then she turned the gun and fired. But not at Kael. At the terminal behind him, the shot missed by inches and destroyed the security lockout device. "I bought us 5 more minutes. Upload it now." Kael stared at her. "Who are you really?" She smiled. "Someone who still believes Earth deserves a second chance." Scene 7. The truth goes global. Kael inserted the truth core. The Skyvo pulsed with light across every world, every system. The Union's records collapsed. New files took their place. Uncut footage of the vote, audio of scientists weeping as Earth was erased, letters from the exiled, images of children staring at dark skies, asking why the Stars had stopped speaking back, and at the end one final line appeared. Humanity was never gone. Only hidden. Scene 8. The Admiral's final move enraged. Admiral Vaughn activated failsafe Protocol 0A hidden bomb inside the Union's own data grid. If triggered, would destroy every terminal, every AI, every civilian link. In the Union, it would plunge the galaxy into darkness. Let them remember nothing, he said. Let them fear again. He pressed the button. Nothing happened. Kronos spoke. Failsafe denied. The system now belongs to the truth. Vaughn fell to his knees, defeated by a voice he could no longer silence. Scene, Nin, Earth returns. To the skies at the edge of Union space, Earth's home fleet finally revealed itself, not with firepower, but with light. They opened. Planetary gates sent aid ships. Broadcast real education, offered peace. Their message was simple. We were forgotten. We forgive. But we will not be erased again. Scene 10. The new Union on the surface of Union Prime. The Phoenix symbol now flew alongside the Union flag. A new council was formed, Earth Union, the exiled worlds working as one. Tessa, the Terran girl built from ancient DNA, was named the first child of the Union. She said only one thing in her speech. A lie can live for 1,000 years, but it takes one whisper of truth to end it. They held the funeral in orbit. The wreckage of 400 years of lies floated behind them, broken Union warships. Silenced A is abandoned memory towers. But what they buried was a flag. The original Terran flag, scorched, torn, carried in secret. By one generation to the next, Kael folded it in silence. No speeches. No cameras, just gravity and grief. We were shadows once. Now we walk in the light. But peace had a price, and one last secret waited. Scene 1, the last exile ship, a week after the truth upload. A new signal was detected on the edge of dark space. An old beacon, pre-Union, Terran, Kael, and Ilsa. Now leaders of the Terran Union Alliance took a small ship and followed the signal. They found it drifting in a gas cloud. Exile ship, Eternity -9, status, powered crew, unknown age. 428 years last entry. We never made it to Earth. Inside the ship, time had frozen. Hundreds of cryopods, men, women, children, the ones who never landed, the ones no one remembered. Some still alive. Ilsa stared at the monitors. These are the first children of the forgotten sky. Scene 2. Tessa's vision back on Union Prime. Tessa, the synthetic Terran girl, began dreaming again. Only now her dreams weren't memories, they were warnings. She saw fire. Planets torn open, stars screaming. One word echoed in her mind. Catalyst. When she woke up, she drew the same symbol over and over. A star. Breaking in two. The Phoenix. Wasn't the end? It was only the beginning. Scene 3, the catalyst file in the ruins of the Scavo. A secret file unlocked itself, photo-triggered by the full Truth Core upload name. Catalyst Protocol Origin. Terran Deep Science Archive status. Active. Kael read the opening line. If this file is open, the lie is broken. The enemy will now come. What enemy? Ilsa asked. Kael stared at the screen. It's the one the Union was created to hide from. Scene for the real war? All this time, Earth thought they had been betrayed by the Union. But the file revealed something worse. The Union. Exile Act wasn't a power grab. It was a shield. 4 centuries ago, Earth scientists had detected something. Deep in the void, a signal from a non-human intelligence older than stars, hostile to all carbon life. Earth's leaders had panicked. They erased their presence, faked their destruction, and seeded human DNA across the stars. Hoping to hide humanity's light, the Union was born not to rule, but to keep us hidden. And Kael had just turned the lights back on. Scene 5, the first shadow ship. In a dead system near the fringe, a patrol ship vanished. No debris, no comms, just static. Then, a single fragment of data was sent before the signal died. An image. A ship, shaped like bone. A sun going dark behind it. No engines, no life signs. Ilsa whispered. It found us. Scene 6. The Choice. The New Terran Union. Alliance stood at a crossroad. They could hide again. Erase the truth. Return to silence. Hope the enemy passed them by. Or they could stand. And tell the galaxy, we are here. Will not vanish again. Kael stood before the new Galactic Assembly, broadcast across every world. You made us a myth. We became a memory. But now, we are your shield. We are the children of the forgotten sky. And we remember how to fight. Scene 7. The children awaken. The exiles in Eternity 09 were revived. Some had aged in sleep. Others were still young, and they remembered nothing of Earth. But they all shared one thing. The same dreams as Tessa. They saw stars dying. They heard the whisper of the enemy, and they felt connected. Something inside them had changed. Something ancient. Something Terran, but not human. Scene 8. A message from the void finally. The enemy spoke. Not through language, but through memory. Billions of people across thousands of worlds dreamed the same thing at once. The destruction of Earth. A planet burning. A voice laughing. Then one sentence carved into every mind. Your light called us. Now we feed. Kael stared at the stars. Ilsa loaded the first defense grid. Tessa stepped onto the new Earth flagship named Hope. The galaxy, for the first time in centuries, prepared for war. Final moment. Legacy. The screen fades to black. A child's voice is heard. It's Tessa's. We were erased. We were broken. But even dust remembers where it came from. This time we will not forget, and we will not be silent. A final image fades in. A Terran phoenix. Its wings forming a shield around hundreds of stars.